again, if I don't want to take this back to, all of it back to Tocqueville, but that broad contrast, one of the things that he says is that democracy is the untimely system of government, which means that non-democratic systems are often better at adapting in the moment because of their autocratic power, because of the ways in which they use the language of democracy to conceal and mask what is actually centralized power, which has the ability to impose solutions at the moment that they're needed. And again, you hear this quite a lot now about contemporary China. No one in the West says, we need a Chinese-style Politburo regulating our banks, but they do often say things like, well, the Chinese political system is so lucky in relation to things like environmental hazards because they're more adaptable than we are, because they don't have to worry so much about the long interaction with public opinion. They can just do it. So there is that short-term adaptability versus long-term adaptability. But the thing about short-term adaptability, if it doesn't have the long-term adaptability with it, is some of those adaptations will be mistakes, serious, serious mistakes. As it were, faced with the crisis, the centralized autocratic power seizes its moment, grabs what it thinks needs to be done, and gets it wrong. Whether it's in economic terms, in foreign affairs terms, whether it's a bad war, or it's a bad intervention in the economy. And then it's harder in the long run to adapt out of that. And that, I still think that is broadly speaking the difference. But there are now, the contrast between democracies and people democracies is now very confused because there are so many, as they're called, as you know, hybrid regimes, which have a mix, right? So again, the ideal solution, why can't you have a system which combines them? So why can't you have a system which has the short-term adaptability of centralized autocratic power combined with the long-term adaptability of electoral politics? And I think that is asking for too much. They just don't go together. The hybrid regimes, though they might combine Putin's Russia or whatever, they might combine elements of democratic life with what is clearly autocratic control. It's not clear that that combination is dynamic and that combination is one where they interact positively on each other. I think actually, on the whole, the long-term adaptability and the short-term adaptability, always one trumps the other. And that's why democracies are as they are, a mess in the moment, better in the long run, and people's democracies are as they are.